dear class. Good morning. It's Miss Amy, and this is Angelo. Angelo, say hi.
Hi.
Say hello. Angelo is going to pay a special visit today because if you guys remember last week when we learned all about gardening, we planted seeds. Some of us did. Planted seeds in a jar with paper towels, which was so silly, right? And then you were supposed to put it in a sunny area and watch them grow. Well, Angelo and I decided it would be fun for us to do that for you guys too. So we went ahead and planted our own seeds, right? Do you want to show them the jar, bub? Here, hold it up like this. So we went ahead and planted our own seeds. See, that says basil. We put Angelo's name on it, Angelo. And they were these little black dots. And if you look closely, dear friends, look, they're not black dots anymore. They're plants. Do you see that? That is so cool.
And soon we get to eat them.
Oh, yes. We are going to plant this. We have a very special terracotta pot that we're going to put it in. It's green and like a pot color, and we are going to plant it in dirt in about 1 more week. So we were told that this is called germinating, and these seeds are germinating. Check it out. Ooh. And we are going to plant them in our very own pot with soil. Oh, Angelo, we are going to plant them in our very own pot with soil and watch them grow, and then we'll get to cut it up during the summer and put it on caprese salad or pizza, or we like basil for everything, but Miss Amy loves basil. So we are so excited for that, huh, Angelo? What was your favorite part of this project?
It was, you can even see the little roots.
Yeah, he was showing us right there. So there. Maybe you can see that. I don't know. You can see the roots. Well, that's super awesome, Angela. Will you go put this in a sunny window? Oh. And then give me a high five. Say, hasta la vista.
What does that
or say, hasta pasta.
Hasta pasta.
And then I'm going to read a story about the Bible.
Ooh.
So today, dear friends, we are going to read about God's help. So if you remember, the last time we read from the Jesus Storybook Bible, we were reading about the ascension. And remember, ascension means up. And the disciples were like, oh, I don't know, I don't see him anymore. And Jesus went behind the clouds. Do you remember that? I do. Now, this is a little bit after that, and this is called the Pentecost, which is a big name. It's called the Pentecost, and that's a special holiday that people celebrated back then, and what happens on the Pentecost is pretty awesome. God sends help. So you guys ready? So here's my picture. They look kind of sad, don't they? So this is called God Sends Help from Acts 1-5 and John 15. Jesus' friends and helpers huddled together in a stuffy upstairs room. Oh, that's why they look sad, huh? The door was locked. Wait in Jerusalem, Jesus had told them. I'm going to send you a special present. God's power is going to come into you. God's Holy Spirit is coming. Okay, guys. I'm going to take a pause here. Do you remember when we talked about the apple and how the apple had 3 parts? That it had the peel, which protected the apple, the flesh, which was the fruit, and then the seeds, which are what's planted inside. And remember how Miss Amy said to you that God and the apple are alike because there's 3 parts to God. There's God the Father, who protects us. And there's Jesus, who was God in the flesh, just like the apple. And now the Holy Spirit is the seeds which plant inside of us, and it grows the fruit of the Spirit. So we're about to learn about the Holy Spirit. I'm so excited. All right, so here they were waiting. Actually, mostly what they were doing was just being scared and hiding. Oh, You can't blame them. Their best friend had left, and the important people and the leaders were after them, and Jesus had given them a job, and they didn't know how to do it. As they waited, they were praying and remembering how, from the beginning, God had been working out a secret rescue plan. So here they are in that dark room, waiting in Jerusalem like Jesus told them to. Suddenly, a strong wind filled the room, whistling through the walls, rustling the straw on the floor, and there, on everyone's head, shining in the gloom, were flickering flames. So they had fire on top of their head, and the fire didn't hurt or burn, but they had flames on top of their heads. Here's the picture. Something more. Inside their hearts, they felt a strange heat, almost as if the coldness and the hardness were melting away, as if their broken hearts were mending, and God was giving them a brand new heart, hearts that could work properly. How it happened, well, they didn't know, but they knew God's power had struck their hearts ablaze, and Jesus himself was coming to live inside of them. They had seen Jesus go away, but now he was closer than he had ever been. He was inside their hearts. And this time, nothing could ever separate them. Jesus would always be there with them, loving them, whispering the promise that would get rid of the poison and the terrible lie and the sickness in their hearts. God's wonderful promise to them. You are my child, and I love you. Make your home in me as I make my home in you, Jesus had said. Well, could it be? Was heaven coming into their hearts? What do you guys think? They threw open the shutters, and sunlight flooded their room as the love had flooded their hearts, and the little room was filled with happy noises. Dancing feet and singing and laughing, they unlocked the door and surged out into the streets as if they had never been afraid. Peter spoke in a loud voice so everyone can hear, Jesus died for you. And because he did that, because he loves you. But God made him alive again, and he has rescued you. People stopped and they listened. The words sank down deep into their hearts and worked like a medicine that makes you well. Like the antidote to the deadly poison, like that kiss that wakes you up from a deep, deep sleep. Stop running away from God, Peter said. Run to him instead so he can love you and make you free. And Peter told them the wonderful story of God's love. God's never stopping, never giving up, unbreaking, always and forever love, and how Jesus had come and all that would happen. There were lots of people from faraway countries in Jerusalem. They couldn't speak the same language, but as they listened to Peter, everyone could understand what he was saying in their own languages. Ooh, that's kind of like the Tower of Babel. Do you guys remember that? Many people believed and became Jesus' new friends and helpers. And the wonderful news of Jesus spread like sparks from a fire to the villages, towns, and cities. Every day, more and more people believed. And so it was that the family of God's children, his special people, grew. One man was watching. I'll stop this. His name was Saul. But this was God's plan, and nothing in all the world would ever stop it. Well, that's the end of that story. But isn't that so cool? So the disciples were afraid, weren't they? And then Jesus filled in their hearts. And Jesus is in your heart, and Jesus is in my heart, and Jesus is in everybody's heart that we see. And it's our job to shine our little light, our little Jesus light onto people. So before we leave today, Miss Amy wants to sing a little song because this is our Jesus light. And let's sing it together. Are you ready? Get your light out. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. There's more to that song and we can sing it next time. But for right now, we're running out of time. So Miss Amy needs to say a prayer. And then I'm going to say goodbye for today. And I will see you guys next week when we talk about bugs. I have a really fun story. So let's go ahead and put our hands together. Let's open our hearts. Bloop. Open our minds. Bloop. Close our eyes and bow our heads. Dear Jesus, thank you for giving us the gift of your Holy Spirit. Thank you for filling our hearts with your love. And thank you for your great rescue. We are so blessed and just grateful for your love, even though we don't deserve it. You took everything we deserved and gave us everything you did. And we are so thankful that we get to be your child and that we get to shine our Jesus lights for all to see. Please help us grow our fruits of the Spirit. Let us be loving and peaceful and kind and show our self-control and our patience, especially during this time where we are in quarantine. We just ask that you heal the sick and protect those who are not, and watch over my entire dear family. Keep them all healthy and happy, and let them learn lots from our online learning experiences. Thank you for your love and your blessings. We are so thankful. You are such a good provider, and we love you so much. It is in Jesus' name I pray, and the dear class says, amen. Okay, so I will see you guys next week, where we're going to learn all about bugs, and we're going to read a fun book about an impatient caterpillar. Have a good weekend. Bye, guys.